Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently watched Sinbad, Siren, and I'm not going to really go too much into the detail of the episode itself because it's very overt and very obvious, and so there will be a whole ton of plot points that I really don't want to spoil, especially for those who haven't seen the episode yet, so I won't go through that. Now, my dad actually asked me a question about this particular episode, and he said, "Does Nala have a thing for Sinbad?" And I said, "Dad, I don't know, but since episode number 1, and they actually had a flashback of episode 1, and it had Nala in the marketplace, and she was looking absolutely stunning and gorgeous and beatific and all those really exceptional adjectives that you can come up with. And it made you wonder about that particular relationship, if they do have one, because they had an earlier episode where Anwar the doctor was kissing both Nala and Rina, and I thought, you sly dog, you. Ruff, ruff, ruff. But Anwar gets all the action, but actually Sinbad gets all the action, but I'll leave that for another another review maybe later. Sinbad's just more confident, and the ladies just love it. And besides, he's got a good complexion, and his hair is absolutely perfect, and he's got these pretty dark eyes. And I won't go into that. Sinbad's my favorite character. I'll just put it that way and leave it at that. This episode was more of a coming to terms with one's goodness and the trials and tribulations that they have to go through. The curse, that amulet that his grandmother gave him around his neck, because he can only live for a day and a night on land, and he has to go back to Providence, or the curse will kill him. But we know that because we've been watching since episode 1. This is just a repeat of that, but it's very fascinating because we get to see what Sinbad is like with everything taken from him, basically. Tiny spoiler alert, but he, with the help of his friends, he realizes what his purpose is and who his real friends are and why he has to do what he's called to do. Well, he actually makes that decision himself at the very, very end of the episode when it's reaching the denouement. It's very interesting, I find, Rina's past particularly, and I really like that because I don't think that it was bravado. I don't think that it was exaggeration. I think that was what really happened to her. And I'm starting to weigh her past with Gunnar's, and I'm thinking both of their pasts are really, really messed up and tragic and checkered in and of their deliverance and their understanding as well. I feel sorry for both of those characters, but at least they have a place, a nice place, or their sanctuary, or their haven. Providence, yeah. That in and of itself is an allegory, the ship. So I thought, oh, that's very clever. What I really liked about this episode, other than that, is the whole design of the main character's little house on the beach where everything washes up. Yeah, that was also very intriguing, and the attention to detail in her house is so meticulous, but it just reflects her outer facade, which I thought was really intriguing. Now, the outer facade of this particular entity in and of herself, very beautiful, enchanting, magical, ethereal, metaphysical, magnetic, but she's just a manipulative little witch. She uses her feminine wiles to control and to take charge of a situation, and she only wanted Sinbad for what he could give her, and that was the way that she survived. It's very interesting to see how she subsists, and I thought, ooh, that is just down low and nasty, dirty, and just downright evil. She just is a very villainous character, even though she's just as pretty as a daisy. Yeah, she's pretty as a daisy, but look out, boys, she's crazy. She'll really do you in once you let her get under your skin. Poison ivy. Well, no, it's different, but kind of a different version of poison ivy, if you could think of her in that way. But I really enjoyed this episode, particularly because the grandmother is more part of part of the plot. Akbari comes more into focus here, and Akbari does something that I knew was going to happen all along, and I thought, oh, you bastard, why? But it was just something that was going to happen sooner or later with the duration of the series, because you can't trust anybody, especially if the Emir is so maniacal, and that's just his character. He's just the trope for villainy. He is villainy incarnate. And then you've got another character who uses witchcraft and necromancy to her advantage. And I don't know why, but I really like her. She reminds me of, I don't know if it's the same woman who portrays her role, but if it is, she's definitely a dead ringer. But I think of her as Morgana in the Persian sense. She's definitely a look-alike for Morgana in Merlin, if you've ever watched Merlin. It's the same person. It's just she's got a different persona, and she's just trying to consult the Emir. I think that she has an ulterior motive, honestly. I think that she wants the position of the Emir, but it's not really been revealed if she does or not, but I feel that she does. And the only other thing that I'm still kind of puzzling about is the fact that Sinbad's mother is mute. And I don't know if anybody else out there has a theory about this. Please clue me in, because I don't think that was ever mentioned in the stories. Maybe it was something that the creators decided, oh, this would be something that adds a little bit more intrigue and interest and kind of a fascination. And it does. I am completely transfixed with her character. And I think, why is she mute? There has to be a reason, and they haven't revealed it yet, but I'm pretty sure that they will in future episodes. Of course, I have a basis of why I feel that Rina and Sinbad are the perfect match, and I've always shipped them. Reason being, the DreamWorks version of Sinbad the Sailor, which tanked in the box office, sadly, those two had a romantic relationship. And I think that in the original Sinbad the Sailor, and it's been a long time since I've read it, but her name in the story is Marina, and they're together, and of course they're both thieves. So thieves prefer the company of other thieves. They get along better with other thieves. Birds of a feather flock together, and all that happy cliche little parade that I just had. That's going to be my new shirt. It's going to be a name of a band one day. Cliche Parade. Yeah. You heard it first. You heard it here first. I predicted it. It might be my band if I make one. Cliche Parade. It sounds really cool. But the other reason that I feel this is because episode 1, it actually reveals that Sinbad, he has a heart, and he cares for her, and he actually breathes for her when they're underwater, and I think that they just understand each other better, because their backgrounds are similar in a sense. But you kind of wonder if there's a love triangle going on. I think there is. I think it's Sinbad, Nala, and Rina and I just really want Sinbad and Rina to be together just because it feels right, and they are perfect for each other just because he's the super cocky one and she's, feisty and spunky and she's got moxie, and they click and they have chemistry together. And besides, he saved her life in episode 1, so she owes it to him. One of these episodes they will make it canon. I hope they do. I don't know if they will or not. If you're out there, BBC producers, make it canon. Please. Don't make me beg. I will. Um, they're my favorite OTP. But I don't know. I just don't think Nala and Sinbad, they did they don't have the same background at all. Nala's is just pretty primpy, prissy, spoiled rich girl who had everything before Daddy Dearest was taken from her. Episode 1, if you don't recall. Uh, Besides that, it just adds more conflict into the story itself. And yeah, I also like a lot of the lines, and I think Gunnar has some of the best lines of all in this particular episode because he takes notice of the main character and he gets swayed. You think nothing could sway that Northman, but yeah, you get a pretty pair of hips in front of him. He's like, what man is it? But yeah, the feral instinct kicks in, and the pheromones start working, and then the inhibitions in your brain, poof, they're gone, and just the carnal instinct takes over, and then all bets are off with Gunnar. Gunnar is your typical hot-blooded man. No offense, but I mean, there's so much truth to that. And there's nothing wrong with this. This is just how we appropriate the species, but I love that how that was looked at in this particular episode. And Gunnar, oh jeez, his humor, he's got a lot of good lines, but Cook too. Cook is just hysterical, and he provides good light-hearted humor to otherwise dark, gloomy, scary scenes, and with the main character involved. There were some things in this episode that kind of unhinged me a little bit, kind of gave me the creeps. But the whole moral of the story of the episode in and of itself is beauty can be deceptive, and be careful whom you trust. If all else fails, you know that you have a family and a crew to stand behind you at all points and times, and they will go to hell and back for you. Of course, that's what Gunnar actually said. I thought, yes, Gunnar, you're absolutely right. This episode was really good, and it kind of makes me, well, it does, I'm not going to say kind of. I'm very excited to see what the next episode has in store for Sinbad, particularly where his grandmother is concerned, because she plays a big role in this episode with the necromanceress's spell, and she is forever connected to Sinbad now. I thought, oh my, this has taken a dark and this is taking a dark and unscrupulous turn. She is playing dirty, but it's very intriguing, and we shall see where it leads. So until this Saturday, I will definitely be doing a review of it, and I shall see you then. Aloha!